everyone, it's Jill Rother of Keller Williams Realty. I'm here. I have good morning. My special guest is Harold Perkins.
Good morning.
He is a mortgage specialist, and which many of my clients have used. And today we're going to talk about probably the hottest, I guess, topic you would say about potentially doing a short sale listing, or what it means to what happens when your credit is highly impacted if you're in a financially distressed situation. So Harold today is going to go over just a little bit about how are you impacted when potentially down the road you want to go get a new loan. I think that's a big question for everybody. If I go through the short sale process, when can I go ahead and get a new loan? That's the golden question. So Harold, you want to go ahead and take it over and answer some of those questions?
Sure, absolutely. So if you've gone through a short sale, and that is one of the most frequent questions we get is how long is it going to be before I'll be able to purchase a new home, and what kind of impact did it have on my credit? And it's not the best thing for your credit, that's for sure. The short sale, a couple things that happen with the short sale is when your lender agrees to take a payoff less than what's owed, then you've not paid back according to the contract that you originally agreed to.
Right.
That will have a negative impact on your credit score. Typically speaking, when the short sale itself usually has an impact of about 100 points on your score. In most cases, the mortgage company will report that it was settled for less than agreed.
Okay.
That verbiage on the credit report will ding your score somewhere around 100 points typically.
Good to know.
The other impact that we see on short sales is that there's typically also late payments that lead up to the sale of the property. And when that happens, the first time you have a late payment, that immediately is going to have an impact of 50 to 75 points on your credit score.
Wow.
That it'll reduce it. 50, as much as 75 possibly. Now, after that, if there are subsequent late payments after that, that actually does not have as much of an impact on the score as the first one did, but it's still not good for it either. It's not zero impact, but it's not as much of an impact. Each late payment after that can be 10 to 25 points that it impacts the score after that. So it is possible to come out of a short sale with still relatively decent credit, depending on how many late payments were happened before the short sale, and then how the creditor reports the account being settled.
Right. I mean, it's going to be a difference between if somebody is 2 months late versus, say, 11 months late on there.
Exactly right. And there could be a couple 100-point difference between those two scenarios.
Okay.
So ultimately, in buying still the question, how long is it going to be before I can buy another house? Well, if you're buying a new house and your new loan is going to be FHA, or you're taking FHA financing.
Okay. FHA.
Their rules, with some minor exceptions, their rules are 3 years from the date of the short sale. That's when you'll be eligible for FHA financing again. Now,
is that from the short sale closing date?
Correct.
Okay.
From the close of escrow on your short sale.
Got it.
3 years from that date, you'll be eligible for FHA financing. Now, what the FHA underwriters are really looking at that point is they are going to scrutinize your credit from the short sale for the following 3 years.
Okay.
Extremely perfect credit and reestablished credit after the short sale is going to be required in order to qualify for the purchase after that. Sometimes it can be longer than 3 years, and that can happen if in your short sale you don't do anything to reestablish any credit afterwards. Rental history is going to be very important. How you pay your credit cards, if you've taken new credit cards afterwards, anything that you've done afterwards is very important to help shorten the amount of time before you'll be able to purchase again.
Okay.
There are the couple of minor exceptions with FHA. FHA does recognize that sometimes people get relocated by their employer.
Sure.
And if
That
you're
happens.
relocated to another city by your employer, then your need for the short sale was not a financial reason. It was your job. It was
an
your
employment reason.
And you're being relocated, which you may not have chosen,
Right.
and you need to have your job. So then FHA recognizes in that situation it is a market issue and not a financial issue for the borrower. And in that situation, there is no waiting period for a short sale. You can
fantastic.
You can short sale your home and close on a new home the very next day if it's due to relocation to another metro area by your employer. So
Got it.
across town is not good enough. We're talking about going from Detroit to Phoenix. That and
That's
your employer
legitimate.
transferred you. That would be fine.
Okay.
One other exception for FHA with short sale is a significant change in family size.
Oh, okay. What does that mean?
Well, let's say you had when you bought your house, you didn't have any kids. It's a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom house, something very small. And then an extreme example would be like the Octomom. So she has
No,
8 kids, 8 kids all at once. That's an extreme change in family size. It would be okay to short sale your current home and close on a new home the next day.
So what are you talking about? 1 child or 2 children, like twins or something?
Even with 1 child explained properly, we would have to very much explain the reasons the current home would no longer fit the needs of the family. So if we can show the home doesn't fit the needs of the family, then that would be an exception that FHA is very aware of.
Okay. So is that pretty much it for FHA?
For FHA, that would be it. Those
Okay. So now going on talking, the other types of loan you can get is a conventional. Everybody should be a little bit more familiar with Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, or another private investor.
Right.
Okay.
Conventional loans is that one's a little bit more. There's more gray area in it, but typically speaking, what you're going to find is if you had a short sale, it's going to be a minimum of 2 years.
Okay.
As long as 7 years, depending on the circumstances, and depending on the specific requirements for the specific bank that you apply with. So definitely in that situation, again, you want to make sure that you minimize or the lower number of late payments you had before the short sale, the less time you're going to need to wait before you're able to purchase again.
Okay.
The late payments before the short sale, that has the biggest negative impact on your credit, and so the more there are, the longer it might be before you're able to purchase again.
Okay.
VA.
Important.
For VA.
For all of our veterans out there.
VA does not have any restriction on short sales. If you had a short sale, the VA views short sales as a market issue and not as a borrower issue. And so if you have VA eligibility and you short sale a house, you would be eligible for a VA loan immediately upon the close of the short sale.
Okay. Okay, great. Well, obviously, I think the biggest lessons that we can learn right now is that there's no 2 credit scores alike. There's no 2 short sales alike. There's no 2 anything alike. That, the most important thing we can learn from is that we do not try and compare our situation with somebody else's, and that you must go to an expert like Harold here. For someone that's going to give you, the exceptions to the rule, because especially with anybody who may have to, unfortunately, have a very tough decision of going through a short sale, or somebody that has already done one, it's important that you understand exactly how to get back on track, and someone like Harold is someone that can help you do that.
I would be happy to.
So, great. Is there any other thing that we were talking about, or pretty much that's about it? FHA, VA, and conventional.
Those are all the loan programs that exist right now.
Okay. Well, stay tuned for more videos regarding credit, because it is the #1 topic that I get, and is obviously very important to people, and we want to be able to give you the most relevant information out there. So again, this is Jill Rother signing off as the Short Sale Superstar, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.